Matt. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, not to So You Think You Can Fanon, but to 20 on the Dice Throw. We have prepared for you a special variation on the usual content, as I, Matt, am no longer a mere figment of your imagination, but the terrifying reality of Jacob, Michael, and Sergio as their dungeon master. Would you like to say hello? We're gonna get sued. Have to record it. Trademark. No, he's trademarking the 20. Just... Alright, well, Michael does that. Alright, so, today we are going to begin a campaign in a world known as Rajgir. It is a strange world, one rather different than most D&D worlds. There are your assorted fantasy races, but they're not treated equally amongst themselves. Most reviled of the races in Rajgir are those of ill skin, those with green, purple, and red outer shells or flesh are treated quite poorly by the more sophisticated humans and elves, although even they have problems with each other. The only race that you could even remotely say don't treat others badly on the basis of race is the dwarves, but, well, they have their own problems with incredibly strict and ridiculous dwarven tradition stretching back thousands of years without ever being changed. What is your joke? Hey, at least I'm not as racist as the people who unironically thought orcs were a representation of black people in the D&D setting. When that black people are part of the human race, which exists in D&D 5th edition. Anyhow, on the top of our racial totem pole are the humans and the elves. Humans have conquered the entire northern half of the entire continent. They own it, and they mean it. Whereas, to the southeast, we have the elves, split into the two different countries of Solstheim and Galadia, the High Elves and the Wood Elves. Yes. That's a good question. Moving on. In the bottom left corner, the southwest, we have the Lesser Peninsula and the Buvu-Giridu swamps. This is contested territory, to put it mildly, and that is why there are no hard and fast borders. Even... I did have a lot of fun naming that swamp. We had a lot of fun naming that swamp some time ago, and then I took inspiration from it and then dragged it through the mud. Anyhow, the reason that there are no borders is because one country on its own can't agree on where its borders are. The humans and the elves are in active skirmishing day by day. The Wastes and Samaland are a desert crap hole, which has a kind of no purpose, but people still fight over it anyways. But, again, the borders change daily, sometimes stretching dozens of miles in one direction or the other. And Bufugiridu and the Lesser Peninsula, they are, as some would say, infested with the ill-skinned races, and are sometimes claimed by humans, sometimes not. We'll find out a little bit about that in the first session, though. Of course, in the center here, we have the dwarves of Bad Unst. They are an army trading company. Kind of, sort of. It depends on who you are and what you have to trade with them. Yeah, it depends on who you ask. The humans really like to trade with them. The elves kind of like to trade with them. The ill-skinned races really, really like to trade with them. But the ill-skinned races, because they don't have a lot of money, have to do some weird, dumb stuff to get stuff from the dwarves. We'll see how that works out. Are there any questions from the players? They are. Amongst the humans? Most humans you ask don't even know that there are two different kinds of elves, to be honest. Wood elves and the high elves. What about the drow? Aren't drow wood elves? The most educated humans believe that there are two kinds of elves, the high elves and the wood elves. And if you're not an educated human, you don't even know that. You just think they're pointy-eared, knife-eared. No, the humans don't know that they're a drow. You don't know if they're a drow. Well, some of you might. Anyhow, any other questions before we begin? Well, as you see, the humans own the best farmland. Their lands encompass vast, rich, and fertile soil. They own all the best farmland. They are huge, huge exporters of food to other neighboring areas, and that's how they make a lot of their money through trade. But they are also an incredibly high-tech civilization with the famous artificer guilds of their country. Oh, I should say the human country is called Gad Parlo, and the human country is collectively called Gad Parlo. The capital is called Gad Unst. The dwarven capital is called Bad Unst. Also, their country name is Bad Unst. Only two capitals are named Unst. No, Solstheim is the high elf capital, and it is called Solstheim. Is it from Elder Scrolls? I just thought of it. I thought. $4 total, man. Huh. Now we're gonna get your food. Okay, Mom. All right. We'll be back. Matt? Yep, I'm recording. All right. Yeah, I didn't know that. I just named it Soulstone because I thought it was cool. I'm sure Galadia is from something else, but I don't know. I just came up with those names. I mean, it is pretty cool. Bruh. Anyhow, any other questions? I think that's mostly it. I did, though. I said that the borders change, and it depends on who you ask. Some humans, for example, would say that... No, the ill-skinned races inhabit the Lesser Peninsulas. Galadia is where they inhabit. That's very rich forested areas of Galadia. Very little is known about them. Okay. Let's get rid of those drawings. Anyhow, just for a quick example, some people on the human side, I'll say, they would say that the human borders stop here, and then other humans would say they stop here. It very much depends on who you ask and when you ask them, and also why they may be asking those questions. Oh, I don't. Yeah, there are a few like that. Anyhow, I think that's enough questions for now, unless somebody has a really burning question. Well, that's delightful. I'm glad to hear that. All right, I will set us up a little ambiance as we go into the town. There we go. Oh. It's under everybody's. Yeah, it's... Oh, can you guys not see it? That's odd. You can see all of them? Oh, yeah, we can... Yeah, maybe I can make this appear in other people's journals. Well, either way, that's not a huge deal. We find our two would-be adventurers, Tatrath and Chris, at the Holayer farm, where they work and gather wheat. They do so with the assistance of the father of the Holayer family, Greg. Oh, you boys are such a good help in the harvest. Oh, I don't know what I'd do without you. Well, yes, Julietta, are you gonna help? Julietta is the daughter of Greg and his wife Juliana, and she is busy admiring Chris, and doesn't appear to hear her father. Yeah, well, alright, that's about what I could expect, Greg says as he goes back to stuffing hay into the cart. Okay. As they bicker and squabble, they see something rustling. As you discuss things civilly, you see something rustling in the wheat to your left. What could it... Why, hello, dear boys! And before them appears the town, definitely not the mayor, but considered the mayor, Fraz Soulier. I'm not the mayor, I'm just the magic man. Everybody always calls me mayor. I'm not in the wheat, he says as he walks out of the wheat. That's besides the point, dear boys. There's important business, and I've brought along a special friend, he says as a somewhat oft resident appears from the wheat as well. I don't know, is your name Apollo Havensor? Do you not see the Roll20? We're gonna talk about that in just a second here. I'm getting everybody introduced here. Never mind the wheat, dear boy. It will all be harvested soon. But important things are happening. The governor is here. You are all surprised to learn that you have a governor. Well, I'm not really the leader of the town. We haven't had a mayor in 20 years, he says, as he's been voted mayor 20 years in a row with nobody running against him, but he doesn't run either. Oh, the local region, my dear boy. You didn't think that we would be completely exempt without a governor, would you? Yeah, that's what taxation without representation is. Anyways, I have a paper from him right here, from the noble. Where's his name now? I can't remember. Aha, from Wilhelm Windleworth. Yes, that's his name. No, I can't remember his name either. No, oh, no, they're in my pants. There they are. Yes, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Tea. 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 Yes, I'll have some tea when I get home. That will be wonderful. As Fraz starts talking about tea, you see somebody coming by, sprinting by. A messenger, actually. And if I could find... Oh, why did his token disappear now of all times? Here we go. See a boy, a young man running up the field with a feather in his hat. You, please, tell me you're not an old man. Somebody, please. Oh, thank you. Oh. I'm the messenger of the governor, Lord Windleworth. You're needed in the center of town. The whole town's been called. Are you talking to Frez when you say that, or are you talking to the messenger? Fraz? Fraz is mumbling about tea right about now. And, yes, I saw him earlier. I don't know what he's talking about, but, oh. Yes. It's a missive from the governor. Very important. A letter from the king himself. Come now, the king needs our tea, gentlemen. We must not stally. Listen, you all head to the town center, and you set yourselves up over here in the leftmost corner. Let's see. It is everybody in town. You see that there is a huge gathering in the center. Why does... there we go. Oh, it's not... Well, it's kind of... It's sort of bad. Kind of, sort of. I just need to find somebody. Please. As you approach, you see the man who is supposedly Wilhelm Windleworth in the center of town. and he is flanked by two very strong-looking guards. Froz starts pushing the three of you to the forefront, and he brings the three of you along. Yes. Hello, Wilhelm. You're the old man from earlier. Are these... finally. This is everyone from town, correct? Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Of course. The messenger, his name is Kyle, says. I'll now read the message from the king. To all loyal citizens of Gadparlo, we exist in a time of great unrest, and as such, the citizens have dutifully served in our noble branches of the military. Both the Artificers' Guilds have supported it, and the men wearing armor have fought for it. However, it has come to my attention from a recent census that the majority of the men in our army are incredibly old. Over 75% are above the age of 40. This is a grave concern, and as such, I feel it is important that the youth be brought into the military so that they may be trained in the ways of combat and experience the rigors of military life. As such, it is now the missive of the king that all men aged 25 or younger are to join the military immediately. I presume that you three are under the age of 25. And Froz backs you up again. Yes, of course they are. They're three strapping young men, always helping out around the town, working on the farm. Why, little Apollo here is even part of the Artificers' Guild. He's a wonderful young man. Helps me with the shop sometimes. Yes, I figured you would. You do look quite youthful. Tell me, why do you wear that hood? It's not particularly bright out today. Well, I'll have you know that it's considered disrespect. I was just about to say that you guys would start talking about that with each other. Would you guys like to describe your characters so that people can see the image of these three strapping young men inside of the town center? So he looks like the rock paper scissors kid from JoJo. Gotcha. All right. And Michael, would you care to describe Apollo? So the tips are slightly green. I see. I see. All right. Yeah, I think we said your ears are not nearly as pointy as usual elf ears, did we, Michael? That's why people don't. Right, they're not super long elf ears like you would expect. Yeah, they're the distinctive half elf ears. All right. Yeah. Are there any other qualities of your characters that we should describe? I should say, Tay has a very interesting, high quality cloak. Apollo, you have a special item on you, Apollo. Would you care to describe that? All right. Hmm. They just come right off. So we've got the standard stair climb of the character heights in front of our. And as you are talking with Wilhelm, you can only notice that he looks like he's dressed as an adventurer if the person in question had never actually done any adventuring in his life, because he has a ridiculously long cape, a stupid looking hat that would blow off at any kind of a light breeze, and he keeps his hand on it most of the time. He does look like he could probably handle himself in a fight better than you guys could, but most of that comes from the fact that it looks like he's got really great armor and a really good sword. That's a very accurate summation of him. Thank you. The mayor, this is really the only youth you have in this tiny town. Is that true? Yes, but I'm not the mayor. And he ignores the mayor comment and looks back at you three. I see, I see. That's really not the best. I don't have high expectations for this town, but I expected at least 10 recruits, not 3. but nothing can be done about it, I suppose. As by order and decree of the king, I must formally and actively request that you join His Majesty's ranks as part of the military. There are no options otherwise. If I had a pittance for every youth who begged to stay at the farm, I would be the wealthiest noble in Gadperlo. That will not work, I'm afraid, young man. Not to... Ah, yes, I'd heard of you. I'd heard of you. Apollo Havensor, yes. Is that your name? He looks over at the guard to his right. He needs to learn to speak up. Yes, well, I know your father. In fact, no. I mean, I actually know your father. He made this sword for me, he says, holding it up. Taking it out of its sheath, and you see magnificent runes and enchantments carved and blazing upon it. He made this sword for my own father. You could say it's part of my own family as well. I see that you carry your own family heirloom with that item on your hip. He and I have had a few conversations in the past, and he has said that he would like to see his son be a little more interested in the sharp and explosive side of crafting and enchanting. Perhaps an up-close look at what the men in the military need will spark an interest in it, as it were. He puts his hand on your shoulder and squeezes it a little more firmly than you would like. Listen, young man. I don't think that you're really in the kind of position to be disobeying the governor of your village, of the local region, or your king, are you? Yes, now, it seems to me that there's no young pretty lasses around for you three to be married to, so you can't use that as an excuse. Yes, well, it seems to me that you are three strapping young men, and you would benefit quite greatly from joining the military. Probably not from where we send you in the military, but that's besides the point. Now, unless you have any important questions, he says, looking pointedly at Tay and Apollo, that are about your service to the king, then we should go discuss this in more private sequesterings. Is there a good building around here, perhaps a capital? And Thraz says, no, there isn't. Excuse me? There's not. But you're the mayor. No, I'm not. And Wilhelm looks back at you. There is a clear scowl and grimace on his face. No, that will be fine. I will simply pull you 30 feet from the people, and that will be enough for this outing, I think. He says as he uses the powers of the DM to drag you all. That's not right. No, hold on, I can fix it. Cease your movement, boys. Alright. Now comes the details of your mission. he says as he pulls out a scroll from what appears to be a quiver of scrolls on his side. This is one of the assignments for the men in this region. Seeing as how there's only 3 of you, I will be sending you to the least staffed position, so that they may be more accepting, I'll say. You note that that's not the most sound logic, unless any of you wish to specifically question him about that. Yeah, that's fair. To the brave men who will now serve the kingdom, you are tasked with heading southward to the Buvu Giridu Swamps, which is northward of the Lesser Peninsula and south of Bracken Balls Ravine. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, you are going to be traveling to an area filled with the ill-skinned races. It is not fun for most, but it is important, as there are some critical military outposts that are based out in that region. And as this letter so clearly describes, and I will summarize for you, there has been a potential guerrilla insurgency of the Buvu Giridu occupations. A need... I like that. No, I mean gorilla with an E. Getting on with it. They need some men to help them in that lovely little part of the world. You 3 seem like the kind who would be able to go down there. However, as I'm sure you are abundantly aware, the geography of that region is difficult to traverse, to put it mildly. As such, he no, not gorillas. He pulls out a second letter from his quiver, and this one has a special stamp on it. Apollo recognizes it. It is his guild stamp. Not his personally, but of the guild he is in. I am sure you recognize this, Apollo. He hands it to Apollo. This is a special letter of request sealed by the king himself. It will grant you a free item from the nearby MacGuffin Conglomerate branch. And it will be your method of transport to the Buvu Giridu swamps. I think you'll enjoy the local branch. They are interesting. Very, very interesting. Yes. I'm sure you've been there many times as part of the Guild, Apollo. Certainly some invitations. Excellent. Well, that will be a familiar experience for you. I'm sure you know how to deal with them. Do be careful, though. I have heard that the roads around here are not of the highest quality, certainly not as safe as we would like them to be. I've tried to increase patrols, but again, the military is in a bit of disrepair at the moment. Most of the older men know not to be... well, they just tend not to be deployed in this area, I'll say. Yes, I'm sure 3 strapping young men, you probably already defended your town dozens of times from brigands and the like. Yes, that is abundantly clear. As you are here and signing on to the draft, you would have to be part of this village, otherwise you wouldn't be in the draft, so I'm glad that you're here. Anyhow, that's it for me. I think you know everything. You're competent, you're confident. I don't need to do anything else. I'll just be taking my leave now. What? They did. Thanks, Dad. Is there a problem, gentlemen? I think there's a lot of problems. Three seem a little saddened, and I think everyone here is saddened that you've been called into the draft, but I suppose it's not too unsurprising considering the state of the Empire. Would you have told him? How close do you want to be with Fraz? Yeah, that's what I was gonna go with. Don't worry. You'll be fine, Tetrith. Oh, of course you can. You're from the opposite end of the continent with them. It will be fine. I think you better worry more about, as they call them, the ill-skinned. They are rather angry that their area has been occupied. I have a friend who lives there, and he's been, keeping an eye on things. I can tell you that it's... Oh, just another old man. You know us old people. We all know each other. Another phrase you say? Thanks, Mom. Oh, they do get old from time to time. It's very hard, though. Trust me. Anyhow, I think it's best that you all get started before sundown. The roads, as the governor said, are definitely not as safe as they should be. Not to mention the fact that it is a several-day walk out to the branch. I don't know why they put it out in the middle of the woods. I heard they were testing explosives out there. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, no. Yeah, I have a bad habit of accidentally stretching tokens sometimes on Roll20. You boys. I heard some rumors from the town. Well, don't worry about leaving the farm. I'll be able to handle harvest this year without you. Yeah. I've done it before. Just wish I could have kept your help another year. I know. Just be careful out there. My brother was sent off to war not too long ago. It's rough out there. Hmm. Who is that? Who's, who's the pretty boy? Who that? Hmm. Yeah, that Frez guy, he's kind of a weird mayor, huh? No, he is the mayor. Well, people vote for him to be mayor, and he acts as the whatever. It's weird. Did you guys hear the? Did I ever tell you the story of how he became mayor? He burned down half the town. Well, at first we put him into indentured servitude for 4 life sentences, but well, he started a city plan for everything after he burned it all down, and it worked a lot better after he did. I guess. And well, he's part of the reason I have this farm in the first place. He helped fertilize the land with his magic. I don't know how skilled he is in the arts, but he's certainly no average wizard. And I think, wait a minute, no, I have seen you around town once or twice. You're the new kid who you were working at his emporium, weren't you? Isn't that why you were here? I thought I saw you around Fraz's emporium. Well, I'll take your word for it. Although it's kind of weird for artificers to be out in this village, I'll be honest. The local branch is kind of kaput. And as you are talking to each other, Julieta comes by and starts walking up to Chris. Please, Chris, say it isn't so. Say you'll stay forever with me. Oh, that's so noble. But if you stayed and married with me, we could stay here forever. Greg Greg comes over and no. Greg holds her back. And with that, our 3 heroes go back off to the barn, which is not pictured here, but I'm sure the viewers are thinking of a grand, majestic red barn that looks beautiful in their minds as they gather their items from it. He gave him wood and he made a clock. His dad is currently out on a business trip, and he has been for weeks. That's yes, and it actually just occurred to me because of the weird way that the weird time we were starting. I had intended to have us describe a bit more about our characters beforehand, but I had forgotten to. Unfortunately, we can get some more details. Nothing's disorganized yet, but I'll make sure we're more clear next time on the next session. Anyhow, as you all gather your stuff and you begin heading out of town, you see Frez talking to a kind of weird guy who looks disheveled, and you hear them having a conversation about weird things called death sticks. Come on, man. Come on, just take the stick. Just take the stick. Oh, just maybe a little for it, you know? And then Fraz waves his hand and he says, "You will not sell death sticks. And in fact, you will go back and sell life sticks." You see the man, some sparkly dust in front of him as Fraz waves his hand. And then he says, "I like your funny words, Magic Man." And he throws the death sticks in the trash and walks away. Fraz waves at you as you walk by. He keeps waving at you as you walk by. He keeps waving at you as you walk out of town. He continues waving. And he keeps waving at you until you enter the world map. Whoa! Well, it's more like the crappy local maps in Skyrim that you can't fast travel from. Which means there's no fast travel yet, I'm sorry. We'll patch that in later. You'll have to find the special tubes in Metroid to do it first. Anyhow, so we have a basic traveling system. Each 3 blocks of 5 feet on this map equates to equates to a day's travel. So it'll be about a 5-day journey over there. And each day you'll have to roll to see if you'll get into an encounter. So there's a few things that we could do. This is where I'm including what's called the journey system. Each day you can roll, as Michael said, perception to be on the lookout for things. However, you have to be on the lookout for something specific. You cannot say, I look out for threats, because that's too general. You have to say, I watch the trees for people, or I look at the rocks to see if there's traps, or at the road in front of us to see if there's a tripwire, things like that. Whatever you feel is the best thing to use your perception on is what you will be doing. Consequent. What were we saying? You travel a whole inch per hour. Wow, that's amazing. Stop making world histograms with your lines and arrows, Jacob. All right. For people not pictured here for the audience, Jacob has drawn a line that is 500 feet long using the right-click function of Roll20. And then in response, I drew the letters F, U, C, and K in that order with the distance measuring tool. It's a very strong distance measuring tool of Roll20. Okay. All right. You can travel the standard 15 feet and roll perception normally. Or you can travel 10 feet and roll with +5 on perception. Or you could travel 20 feet and roll with -5. Here, I'll move you guys over here, and then we'll have a box represent where the party is. So you guys want to travel 15 feet per day? Alright. I don't think it's possible to have a -5 in D&D. That'd be pretty impressive. Oh, did you guys not do that yet? Okay. Roll20 allows you to roll with the reliable class feature. The problem is that's from Rogue, and that means all of your proficient skills roll with reliable talent, which is not what you want. You only have one skill that is considered reliable, like a Rogue, in our system. So... yeah, okay. You already did perception. Yeah, you clicked and you roll a 17, which is a pass. Oh, it's up to you. Okay. That makes more sense than anything I've ever heard in my life. Alright, so you roll a 17 on your perception check. And you see... Ooh, was there something there? No, there was nothing in that first stretch of road from the town. Which is somewhat expectable. But you... Height. Boop, 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 boop. It is reliable talent, that is true. So you roll a 15. And you are rather fortunate, because a 15 is enough to find nothing. Ooh, you got a really high roll on perception on that one, and you come across a hidden encounter. Alright, boys. Start in the bottom right. Yep. Jacob. No, that's Michael. Michael, I'm going to get the shotgun. I'm gonna shit your shot out in my ass. Yes. Of course it's nasty. Alright, so you come across a weird split in the road. And as you're traveling up, you're having your, I'd say Brody quest is playing in the background of your journey, would you say? Now you come across a part of the road that looks mighty effed up, mighty screwed. Kind of like that hairy dick drawing you're putting in the lake. That was not a person. I'm gonna... Oh. You guys have a little too much fun on Roll20, let me tell you. Okay, so as you come there, you come to that part of the road. It looks really busted. It looks borked. It looks every bad B word in the book could be used to describe it, kind of messed up. You want to roll perception on that one? Maybe insight? Alright, does anybody want to help him? Maybe give him some ideas. Alright, well Well, here, let me describe what he perceives. Let me describe what he perceives, and then that can help guide your decision making. So, what Tay is perceiving is that down this long stretch of road, there is some very odd and frankly unnatural looking degradation of the environment, we'll say. Something that kind of looks like a battle's been fought there, but not really. Because it looks one-sided. Some of the ground's been discolored, some of the stuff looks weird, the local, the wheat field to the left of it, the wild wheat, is burned in places. And then it pops. And then it pops into Apollo's head a special bit of information that he learned from his father when he was being shown who was drawing a three-dimensional cube. Oh. Apollo remembers some demonstrations in the military from when he was younger with his father. They have very strange cannons, very strange weapons, and he has not been privy to seeing them recently, as he is simply an initiate to the MacGuffin Conglomerate Artificer Guild. You walk over to the not pictured here area because I didn't think somebody would be dumb enough to go over there. But you look down at some of the craters and things, and you realize the road is even worse looking beyond it. Like, And just as you say that, and just as Apollo points out it's an explosion area, you see a small little orange dot floating through the sky, coming towards you. It's getting bigger. And then it's getting bigger. And then it hits the ground right in front of Apollo and Chris and knocks them back 10 feet with the sheer force of it. Gravel pelts them. Earth and dirt flies everywhere. Yeah, Tay and Chris. You feel some rumbling, but you don't get blown back. No, you guys don't take any damage. You were just far enough away. Nice. As you walk up and over here, you notice that there may be something weird happening in this rocky outcropping to your right. You, you see, this is the best part of overly inquisitive D&D players and the worst part of overly inquisitive D&D players summed up in a single encounter. You would belong in the Inquisition in a 40k campaign. Shut up. Alright, do you guys know those weird, funny cutscenes in Monster Hunter games? Where it introduces the monster? Alright, well you walk into this rocky... Yeah, so you guys walk into next to the rocky outcrop. Alright. Is this a fair setup before I continue my narrative? So what Tay Triolf sees, what Jacob's character sees, is gray ooze. And it is... Well, you would poke it if you... Let me finish describing what's happening. It is eating something. It's eating a weird little green thing that looks kind of like a person, and it looks like it's crying, but it's not making any noise. Shut up. Silence. The gray ooze looks at you, and it stops melting / consuming the strange little green thing, and it attacks you. Let's see if it hits. Oh, come on. Why did it destroy the sheet? I had the sheet already! It's okay, I have the information over here. Alright. I assume 9 is a complete whiff. So the gray ooze reaches out and tries to latch onto your arm, but you are just a little too fast for it, and it lets its liquidy gray ooze slop onto the ground where it begins to eat away and melt the grass. Ooh. Roll initiative, boys. There we go. Turn order. Make sure you have your token selected when you roll for initiative. No. I can get you guys in there anyways. The Grey Ooze rolls a -1 on initiative. Nice. Sorry, what were you saying, Serge? Alright. So because of that, it fails its first turn. You guys get 2 turns to attack it. You may want to be careful. This is a rather interestingly dangerous enemy. Mm-hmm. Alright. Roll a 1d20 plus your spellcasting modifier. Yeah, there we go. We'll take the 14 or 15. Doesn't really matter because this creature has an armor class of ass, which stands for 8. So you hit. Go ahead and roll for the damage. Oh, you actually don't add intelligence or proficiency to the damage done by spells. It's just spell damage. You do not. Not for any spells unless they state otherwise. I can actually look at it and see what you rolled. You rolled a 6 the first time. You can stop rolling. It's fine. I imagine there's thousands of dice just spiraling out of Michael's hands as he can't control them. Anyhow, so you deal 6 damage to the monster. It looks like that hurt it. Kind of, not really. The fire blasted off it and left a small scorch mark, but the scorch mark gets reabsorbed into the Grey Ooze rather quickly, and you feel like that was not as effective as you think it should have been. In addition, you see another Grey Ooze crawling out of the rocks. But it doesn't get to go until next turn. Chris, what do you got?
Sergio, that's your character.
Okay. Aight. So your war pick. Yep, go ahead and roll for damage. That hits pretty damn hard. Oof. Ouchie. So you do that damage to which of these two? And okay. Yeah, you guys should probably rename yourselves in the Discord server to your character names. Yeah. Alright, so you deal a lot of damage to that, and you actually, it almost feels like you hit an organ or something with that, because it really shrieks back from that. It felt like you did. However, as you pull it back, you look at your war pick, and it is not in the condition you hit it with. For the remainder of this combat, your war pick is damaged, and does -1 to damage rolls. Also, actually, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, so you got that. You have 2 weapons? Damn, bro. Tay's turn. Alright, that hits. Okay. The first hit actually did take it down, so your second unarmed strike doesn't get to hit it, as you defeat the first gray ooze. However, pick up the little green thing. It actually scurries away a little bit once that you try to pick it up. And because I wanted to homebrew this rule in, you take 1d3 acid damage for. Actually, no, you didn't hit it with your punch, did you? Yeah, you just did it. So your quarterstaff also takes some damage as you struck it. Do you want to use your bonus action to blunt or to unarmed strike the other gray ooze, even though it looks like it's melting your weapons? Okay, so you do the 4 damage, and you take 3 damage in return. Alright, it is now that gray ooze's turn. He rolled a crit, actually. So he gets a 20. Alright, and it's going to attack Chris. And it whiffs again. Tries to pseudopod into an attack on you, and it fails again. Apollo, it's your turn! Sure. It's a pebble, my guy. You find one. A small handful. Okay. Alright, that's a pretty solid hit. Are you within... You're within the good range. I'll say you need to stand here to hit it. Yep, your spellcasting ability. So now you add your... Whatever the ability score is for your casting, you add that to it. Yes. Wait, what's your spellcasting ability? What's your intelligence modifier? Yeah, because that's adding in your proficiency. 3, you do 3 damage. It disintegrates inside of it, but it does appear to shake the blob up a little bit. Chris, it's your turn. All right. All right, that's a whack. All right, so you do 5 damage, and you cut it clean in half before it remorphs. But it looks like you're cutting away into it pretty good. It's not looking very hot. Tatrioth, it's your turn. That's a big hit. That's a big whack. Do you decide to use your bonus action to attack again? Alright, that's it. You take it down, although you burn yourself again, and take 1. And you have succeeded! The ooze melts into the ground, disintegrating the grass and bits of rock with it as it fades away. As you point over to where the invisible, nearly invisible little creature was, it scurries away into the rocks. But you see and you hear some scuttering and skittering in the rocks. And you see a big plum pop out of it. And suddenly there's more of them. Suddenly there's a lot more of the green things, actually. They do not appear to respond. As you try to interact with them, they form up in a line, crawling out of the rocks. And you see a big one pop out behind Chris. It bows to you in greeting. It shrugs. It shrugs. And you see that some of them are pushing at the back of your feet as it's trying to get past you to get to the big one, with the plums in their hands. As they go over, they start tossing the plums at its swallowing the plums into a chest cavity, and then it also consumes the little ones. The cactus, strange fruit vegetable thing, then walks out to you, and it bows to you in thanks. And then it grabs the top of its head, it lifts it off, and then all the little ones come back out without the plums, and they start doing what I can only best describe to you and the viewers as the Kirby dance from Superstar. As they all go back into the big one last time, it turns around and it picks up a rock, and it's waving to you as it goes in, saying, "Thank you." But then it trips and falls into a hole underneath the rock. And the rock slaps down back on top of it. Do you check the rock, or do you want to go on? You'll check the rock, and you lift it up, and there is solid earth underneath it. There's one final little one that scurries underneath the rock as you have it lifted up. It stands on top of it, on the earth, and it gives you a salute as it drills a hole with its feet into the ground. Alright. Yep, you guys set up camp. You Get everything good to go. Alright, and you set up the camp. And there are, thankfully, no complications throughout the evening. Do you guys want to talk about the weird things there? Do you want to check it again? Then perform the talk with party members narrative action? I should point out, none of you have ever seen anything like that, especially Tatrioff. And Chris goes to take a leak in the woods, and he was never seen ever again. That's sad. Do you examine the area where the cac veg fruit people were? That doesn't mean there might not be anything there. You guys didn't examine the area in the first place. Right. You head over there, and you notice a small message written in the ground that you didn't see the other day. In a bit, Mom. Mm-hmm. I'll say the message is written in surprisingly legible common. It says, "Thank you. You have been a good help. Help returns help. Thanks beget thanks." You try to, and the dirt you scrape onto it is absorbed into the earth. You can go over and look at it. The message reads, in surprisingly legible common, "Thank you. You have been a great help. Help leads to help, and thanks begets thanks." Do you perform any skill checks? Alright, well, the magical arcana that you roll, it doesn't... Oh, so that was rolled lower than a 10, so that automatically updates to a 14. So you roll a 14. You actually, if you mouse over it, it shows you what the modifiers were. You actually rolled an 8, and then you added 2 twice, because you have intelligence of 2 and proficiency plus 2. So you got a 14. If that is your reliable talent. Anyhow, so you rolled a 14 on Arcana. And, well, hey Sergio, you are not familiar with magic of this specific sort, but you can definitely tell that there's magical stuff that happened with those things. Maybe not the area is magical, but those things you saw, oh yeah, that's magic. That's definitely magic. You may. With such a high investigation roll, you find that, well, these rocks seem to have been melted slightly by the gray oozes. Probably used this as a hunting ground for small fauna and the like. And, yeah, small dumb fauna that can be eaten by stupid slimes. Anyhow, you only find one scrap that may have been from one of those creatures. You lift it up to your face to get a good look at it, get a good whiff, and it begins to make your eyes water. It is not a powerful smell, but something in it just makes your eyes water. Alright, you bring it along with you. Alright. If you wish to do anything else, do so now. Otherwise, forever hold your peace. Alright. As you continue your talk, you hear something rumbling. You hear something rolling. And it is big, and it is loud. What do you do? Alright. You hide in the bushes. Does anybody follow Apollo? Do you just faceplant on the ground and let your green cloak? Fair. Alright. As you are there, the rolling and the crunching and the rumbling gets louder and louder and louder until you see... Yeah, boys, go through it! Get it! Oh, yeah! Oh, that's the wrong flip. Shut up. As you see this giant contraption rolling and rumbling around you. They don't appear to notice you. I can't close this window. Hold on. Something. Okay. They're rumbling around, crushing stones and trees in their path. And the vehicle they're on is discolored and almost looks ethereal as they're whizzing by. There are ill-skinned goblins and an orc piloting this strange vehicle. It goes tearing down the road, through the trees, and is gone before you know what happens. You did, in fact, rest for a long rest. Well, being on watch is a light activity because you're just looking. Yeah, yeah, it all works out. You all get rested full. Your HP is back. Get your spell slots back. And indeed, you all do, in fact, get the hell out of there. You may find out if you ask some questions or not. I can't answer you until you've asked the question to the right person. All right. All right. Yeah. So as you guys roll along, you realize that why are you trying to summon Satan, Michael? That's not good luck. As you roll along, you hear that wagon again, but it doesn't appear to engage you. They didn't apparently know you were there. And it occurs to you there may be more than one reason that you haven't been encountering bandits. You guys are gonna summon something before the end of the session, I'm sure. Alright. Enough of the drawing that people can't see. You are blind the entire last stretch. You collectively lose your vision. Don't worry, fellow venturers. I can use the sun to... Oh, sweet Neptune! You are, in fact, there. The Conglommy Booby Boppy. Hold on, I didn't put Foggy Woggy on the Guffy Wuffy. Okay, you guys might need to fire me after that one. That was pretty bad. I said Foggy Woggy. Alright, you're at the MacGuffin Conglomerate. You notice that there's some trash. Do you knock on the door? You get no answer. Although you do hear somebody tinkering on the inside. What are you trying to do, Jacob? You try to open the door, and hard as you might, you open it with ease. As you step inside, you have the smell of gunpowder, and I used the wrong tool. Alright. And you see one guy, literally just the one guy running around trying to move things and get things in order. Why did they leave me here? Bandits! Yeah! Yeah. The Haven Sword family crest! You've come to save me from this nightmare! Everything and nothing. Oh, thank the heavens for you. Oh, please tell me, are you at least a grand crest of the lower levels? Please? You are an initiate, which is the lowest rank in the Artificer Guild. Oh, he nearly faints with relief. That's so... Oh, thank God. So you can sign this and free me, he says, holding up his wrist. You have what? So he was not holding something. It was actually a special gauntlet on his right arm. And you immediately recognize this as an indenture gauntlet. It will blow your arm off if you leave the premises without the proper seal. No, it's not. You know it's not that powerful and explosive. It would just blow his arm off, not yours.
Oh no, because carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
Okay, you pray. You see a branch. He says several branches. They're morphing into one picture. It's clear in your mind. It's coming together. And you feel your arm move forward in front of you to resemble the branches, okay? I want you to take your hand out, 5 fingers splayed out wide. I want you to fold in the thumb, the index, the ring, and the pinky. You're flipping yourself off. He says, looking at the gauntlet. Alright! Who the fuck is that in the front door? What are you doing here in this backwaters little piece of clap waste? You see as a dwarf walks out. What did you just call me? I'll have you know I'm part of the top 1% of the height of all dwarves in the land. And I've got the thickest arse my man has ever seen. Well, that's no bloody floating excuse. We've been around for longer than you have. I'll have you know that your name's going on the shame wall. What's your name? And I'll tell you. You're a fucking wood chewer! Oh, that's it. You're getting 3 entries on the wall of shame. He goes over to a wall that has several names pounded into it by his staff, and he starts slamming the letters of your name into it. Oh, where's the fucking shame gauntlet? I'll put it on you, on your leg. I'll put one on your dick. Oh, you're the poor folks who are going out to the Buvagiridu swamps. Oh, you poor bastards. What do you mean, what happened? Well, he's not a slave man, he's a little shit who tried to steal my toilet. Oh, well, you see, it's this thing, right? When nature calls, you go sitting on it, and it eats it. It's wonderful. Yeah, you wouldn't understand, you fucking wood chipper. Wood chipper. No. You start trying to chip things into the wall. I'm not gonna tell you, you fucking wood chipper. I think you do. Well, that sounds like a lie, but I'll buy it. You bastards are going out to the swamps. Alright. Yeah. Alright, what have you got for me? I'm willing to bet you've got a letter of something to bring you out there. He grabs it, he notices it's a little crumbled up, and he reaches to the top right corner of the page and snaps his finger, and it is perfectly revitalized into its original condition. Good paper, good paper. Alright. He reaches into his pocket and he starts pulling out some good reading glasses. So this is transportation. He says, screaming over it, Pip, who is apparently the boy with the gauntlet stuck on his arm. Yes! Let's see here. These poor bastards are gonna need a Mark IV transportation sphere. Okay. Should I check the stock? Check the stocks, you piece of shit. Alright! He says as he sulks over to the stocks. And he waits. Yes. So those little grey things, eh? Yeah, fucking hate them. Put your weapons on the floor, I'll fix them in a little bit. He looks down at your weapons, and then he looks at you. What do you mean what? I'm waiting. Yeah? I'll fix it later. Take a seat. It's comfy. It's upholstered. You feel one leg wobble a little bit as you sit on it. Chris attempts to sit on the last one, but the bottom part of it falls clean through and hits the floor. It's still comfy and cushioned. I like long stories, he says, coming up behind you.
How about now?
No, I can only barely hear anything. And suddenly, Pip comes back, and he is looking very sulky, and he's also sidestepping because I can't rotate him right now. Alright, there we go. Spit it out, you pasty little shit. We don't have one of those.
What do you mean? What do you mean we don't have one of those?
I think it was stolen by those guys the other day. Oh, those green little bastards. What the fuck is a snotling? Do you mean a goblin? I like you. I'll take one of your entries in the wall of shame off for that one. I'll take one of them off. Well, the thing is, the equipment we need is the thing you need. They stole your ride, my friend. You think those bastards are smart enough? They're busy breathing with their mouths open, going as they snore. I'd like to stuff a fucking boulder in them if I could, but they're too fucking fast, those little greens. You see the dwarf almost frothing at the mouth. He's so angry at them. Yeah, alright. On the wagon. Nowhere. They never stopped fucking using that thing ever since they stole it. I can hear those little shits every time I go to sleep. Yes. What you're looking for, I should describe it, is a small blue sphere, about the size that can fit in your hand. Not my big, thick, meaty hands, but your little, twinky, slender hands. All of them. You're all twigs. You're fucking pieces of Yeah, you're also like a foot wide. No, he can't help it. He can't help that he's a wood chipper.
Did you like the chicken parmesan?
You don't like being called wood chipper? Well, you know what to do, he says as he starts staring at you again. Not in here. Oh, his
People
gauntlet.
like a straw for his pop, you know, like a-
Yeah, that was imposed by one of the higher crests of the area.
Oh, I see him.
I think his name was Soul something. I can't remember.
Here we go.
Soul something. Yep. Dirt suck. I can't remember. Yeah, whoa. I need to fix those blasted fucking chairs and I can't do it while you're sitting in them. He kicks the bottom of it and the whole thing splats on the ground. Nails and things flying out at the speed of sound. Oh my... Oh, yeah. That's a litter on the wall of shame.
T.
I think you need another name on there if you've got any more sass. He hits the one that you put in there and it blasts a hole in the wall. You don't get to write in me wall of shame. That's mine. It's my fucking birthright. Pip says Pip's got like a hand going across his neck trying to get you to stop talking about it. Is it my birthright?
There's an entire corner of Pips.
Is it my fucking birthright? Well, that I suppose explains a bit. Actually, wait a minute. Let me look at you. I've seen that nose. Haven't seen those ears. You're... Oh, that's right. Solus Haven Sword was his name. You're his son, ain't you? I have no opinion on him. He smells funny. You smell funny, but a different funny. You smell...
You smell like an elf.
A lot like an elf. I dislike the snooty ones more than I dislike the wood chippers. You do well to know that, boy. The dwarves and the wood chippers go back a long way, wood chipper. It's your disguise, dumbass. He picks up a little bit of it. Well, let's put it like this. I'm pretty old for a dwarf. I've... Pip raises his hand. I didn't notice! Shut the fuck up, you piece of shit! Go count the litters! Each time you thank him, I'll put another one of his names on the wall of shame. Yes! Let's see. He pulls out a piece of wood that looks like it was broken off of a wall some time ago. Let's see. When I was still writing his full name, I think it was something fucking Pit Poppin' Tittle. Alright, well, I've got to get back to work, working on this piece of shit guild branch. Yeah, you're welcome. Alright, sounds good. He doesn't go back to looking at the weapons and just looks at you. He just looks at all three of you, staring at you. He stops staring at you and starts fixing the chairs. Alright. One last thing I'll point out before we close out the session, because I think that's a pretty good time to close it out, is Apollo is examining the giant atlas in the center of the room. And this is actually a mainstay for most guild branches, where they have a big map with all the other locations on the continent. It doesn't work. There's no magical parts of it functioning. It doesn't turn properly. It's just a regular map. Nice. So, you know a basic version of that enchantment. It is really taught to kids so that they can remember where their geographic locations are. It's more of an exercise in geography than artificing. You don't know what the crazy major spell is for the trademark Atlas of the MacGuffin conglomerate, because that one is actually quite complicated. It has a lot of nice functionality, has a search bar, it wipes your ass sometimes if you need to, it's that kind of a spell. You do it enough to fix the highlights, and now it shows where Lorica is, it shows where the capital is. It's functioning to a minor degree. Dang. Alright, on the note of dicks and asses, courtesy of my players. No man trains in my campaign, please. Anyhow, that is how the first session ends. I hope everybody had a great time going through this. Yep. All right. Do we need to do anything else, or can I stop recording?